Hey, what's up YouTube? This is Youthman. In this video, I'll be sharing with you my final thoughts and review on the Pioneer Elite UDP-LX500 Universal Player. Now before we jump into the video, if you're into home theater, audio, and video, hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell notification so that you'll be notified when the next video drops. All right guys, before we get into it, I want to give a big thanks to Worldwide Stereo. Worldwide Stereo is sponsoring this series of videos on the Pioneer LX500. So I want to give a big thanks to them for sending it over to review for you guys. So I've had the LX500 in my home theater in this setup here for the past about 3 months. Now the first unit that they sent me had a little bit of an issue. There were certain Blu-rays and even certain UHD videos and 4K videos that did not read. In other words, they would start and then it would just kind of lock up and it wouldn't continue. So I reached out to Worldwide Stereo and got in touch with the Pioneer tech support, and we did some troubleshooting, and over the course of a few days we figured out that probably what happened was the unit got dropped during shipment and the laser just got misaligned, and so it wasn't reading the disc correctly because they could not reproduce the same problems that I was having with that unit back at the headquarters. So within a couple of days I had a brand new unit in for replacement, and ever since then I've had absolutely no issues with it reading any of the disc. And so I say that to say a big thanks to both Worldwide Stereo as well as Pioneer. Both of them on their customer service have been amazing to work with. They've got great customer service, but also just communication back and forth. Every time I would email them and ask a question or we would troubleshoot something, they were really prompt in getting back with me. So definitely hats off to you guys for the great customer service. So with the LX500, there's a lot of things that I really like about this, as well as a few things that I wasn't so excited about. And so in this video, I just want to go over my thoughts and my experience over the past 3 months with the LX500. Now, the first thing I like about this unit is the style and the look of it. It's beautiful, guys. I love the front fascia of it. It's got this nice brushed aluminum front, as well as some really nice detail with the gold accents. Now, it's not like your standard UHD player that's all made of plastic. This thing is made of great material, and it definitely shows in the detail of this unit. The second thing I love about this unit is the build quality. Now, I've never owned a Blu-ray player or a UHD player of this quality. From the time that I first picked it up, it weighs 22 pounds. So that tells you something. Most Blu-ray players and UHD players, you know, they're like 5 pounds, 6 pounds. And so this thing feels like a tank. It's just got this nice rigidity to it. It's got this nice structure and feel to it. So you notice right off the bat that this thing's got some great build quality to it. Even the remote control itself has a nice feel. It's got a nice weight to it, and it's not because of the batteries. All the weight is mostly up here at the top, but it's just got this sleek, very similar style. I mean, I know it's not metal, but it's got this really nice look to it. It's got these grooves in it, as you can see right here. I love the fact that it's backlit, so in the dark you can easily navigate most of the buttons because of its backlit. So all the controls on here are just nicely laid out. Just makes it really easy to navigate. So when I compare this remote to, say, the Marantz AV7705 Pre-Pro remote, this thing feels like really chintzy and just like cheap plastic, to be honest with you, versus this has just this nice weight to it. This probably weighs 2 to 3 times the weight of the Marantz remote. And so definitely it's just got a nice feel to it in the hand, and it's just got a great sense of build quality even in the remote. The third thing that I like about this is Pioneer made some extra effort to kind of build the rigidity of this unit. They wanted to make sure that the laser and all the components on the inside weren't vibrating as the disc spins. And so one thing that they've done is they've added a 1.6 millimeter thick chassis base, and that base is actually reinforced with a 3 millimeter thick steel plate to provide a low center of gravity, and it also helps prevent those internal vibrations. And so this thing is just really solid, not only on the outside, but also on the inside. And speaking of internals, the fourth thing that I like about it is they actually separated the internal components into 3 blocks. Now these 3 blocks separate the power supply, the drive digital processing, as well as the analog audio. Now Pioneer chose to do this to prevent interference between those components. The 5th thing I like about this is it is extremely, and I mean extremely, it's like whisper quiet. I mean, when the tray opens up, it's like, I mean, just super smooth. I've never seen that. Usually on a Blu-ray player or a UHD player, you hit the eject and it's like, and you know, it's like just this, and then when it goes back in, it's just kind of slammed shut. This unit is just very smooth open and really smooth and slow close. It just kind of oozes with finesse and delicacy. It's just sweet, man. It gives you this sense of, wow, that's different, because it just doesn't slam the tray out and bring the tray in at a quick pace. It just does it with patience. That's how we do it. The 6th thing I like about it is it's a universal player. You don't have to worry about it not playing disc. It'll play anything from DVDs to Blu-ray, 3D, CD audio, USB, and for those of you who love music, it'll handle those high-res files from USB, SACD, as well as CD audio. And then the 7th thing that I like about this is it has support for Dolby Vision and HDR10, so you get those super crisp, beautiful picture in that high definition color. And speaking of picture quality, the Pioneer truly delivers a beautiful picture. I've got it paired up with my Epson 5040 UB projector, and I'm projecting on a 150-inch diagonal screen. So the colors are vibrant and very detailed. It's just got a really nice picture quality to it. Definitely been pleased with that. So as I mentioned, I believe this unit is a pretty incredible unit, but there are a few things that I guess you would say are some negatives, and so I want to share those with you as well. So the first thing that I noticed, this is a little bit different than a lot of the Blu-ray players that I've had in the past. Usually you push the button and it just ejects, push the button again, it closes. As I mentioned before, this is really slow to open, really slow to close, and even the buttons themselves. I mean, if you just kind of push it real quick and tap it, it doesn't immediately just open up the unit. Sometimes I've hit the eject button and it didn't eject. And I don't think it's necessarily that the button isn't working. It's just, you know, really what you need to do is just take your time. Push the button and let it eject. Push the button again, let it, you know, go back in. Same thing with the play button. Sometimes I just hit play real quick and it wouldn't start playing. I'm like, what the heck? And so I'd go up there and I'd just push it gently, and then it was like, and I think maybe it was just trying to tell me, hey bro, take it easy. We're just in relax mode. Don't get in a hurry. Just hit the button nice and easy and I'll do my thing. That's the kind of player that this is. But I want to say that because that could be something that would be deemed as a negative thing if you're the kind of person that just wants to slap it in there, let's get it rolling, and you're ready to get going immediately. It just takes a little bit of time with this. The second negative about the LX500 is the navigation menu. Now, honestly, it just looks kind of plain Jane. I would think that with a $1,000 player, it would be a lot more just kind of graphical and just have a better user interface. It's not that it's bad, it's just kind of plain. And so to me, that doesn't represent what the unit is, because this is a high-end, high-dollar unit. And so I would just think that maybe on the internal, they've spent all this detail on a nice remote. They spent all this detail on a beautiful chassis. They've spent all this innovation on the inside, making sure that it's just this great build quality. And then you go to the menu system and it just kind of looks like maybe an afterthought, or maybe something that they've had for many years and they just continued on with that. And so definitely I would like to see that to be just a little bit more graphical in the future. Now, the only time that I've had any hiccups with this was there was one night I used my Harmony Elite remote and I shut everything off and I walked out of my room, and the next day I came back in to use the system. I went to turn everything on and I noticed that the Pioneer Elite was still on, and it was basically saying shutting down. And so it kind of got locked up in that mode. And so to remedy that, all I did was I pressed and held the power button for a few seconds and the unit powered down. I hit power on, it came back on. I haven't had any more issues with it, but I do want to mention that it did have that one hiccup. Now the last negative would definitely be the price. Now it comes in at $1,100 retail, so it's definitely not on the low end of the spectrum. This is what I would consider a premium UHD player. If you're just looking for a cheap UHD player that doesn't have all the features that this has and has a lot less build quality, then this unit definitely is not for you. And so depending on your budget, if your budget doesn't allow for a $1,000 UHD player, then that would be a negative for you. So overall, I think this unit is a fantastic unit. I absolutely love the build quality. I think that's the thing that I love the most, the build quality and just the smoothness of even the tray and the internal mechanism. It's just extremely quiet. And so I definitely can see the value in that. It has a beautiful picture quality on my 150-inch screen with my Epson 5040 UB projector. Has no problems passing HDR10. It just looks fantastic and definitely has just been a great addition to my home theater. So if you're looking for a high quality UHD player for your setup, I'll post a link to it down in the description below. Worldwide Stereo has it on their website right now for $1,000, and so you can save $100 over on their website. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, you guys be blessed, and we'll catch you in the next video.